"Snickers, come!" I yelled. My hands were shaking so badly that I fumbled to unlock Oreo's crate. Eventually, I got the lock open, turned, and hurried out of the room, confident that the dog who trailed me around the house like a shadow would follow. I was halfway across the living room before I realized I was alone. The wind roared as the rain pounded against the windows. I hurried back to my bedroom. Snickers was still curled up in the center of my bed, oblivious to the storm raging outside. "Snickers!" I shook her. 14, with more white around her muzzle than brown, my barely 8-pound toy poodle lifted her head and yawned. Her breath halted me for a split second before I held my own, reached over and scooped her up, and looked around for Oreo. "Samantha Marie Washington, what is taking you so long?" Nana Jo said. "We need to get down in the basement now." "I can't find Oreo." I frantically scanned my bedroom, looking to see what could have happened to him. "I just had him. I had to come back for Snickers, and he got away from me." Oreo, my male toy poodle, would normally have bounced out of his crate. Always energetic, Oreo was still more a puppy than his 12 years showed. A tiny brown head poked out from underneath the bed and glanced around before sliding back underneath. "He's terrified. Here." I handed Snickers to Nana Jo and got down on my knees.
"We don't have time for this, Dorothy. That tornado is almost on top of us, and I left my magic wand and shiny red shoes at the dry cleaners."
Before I could comment on the Wizard of Oz reference, Nana Jo pushed her flashlight in my hand.
"Oreo, come here right now."
She turned and walked out of the room. A few seconds later, there was a loud boom of lightning and the lights flashed. Oreo stuck out his head from underneath the covers and then flew after Nana Jo, leaving me on my knees. Another loud crack, and I hurried after them. The power went out just as I started down the stairs from my apartment to the bookstore on the first floor. I turned to the right and headed toward my office. There was a coat closet, but Nana Jo had already removed my rain slicker and boots and left them out and ready for me. I shoved my feet down in the pink rubber boots my grandmother called galoshes. My rain slicker was yellow and was an exact replica of one I'd had as a kid, with metal clasps and a hood. I pushed my arms through the slicker. I yanked open the door and held on for a few seconds while the winds pummeled me. I pulled the door closed and braced myself as I pushed against the winds and made my way the few short steps to the cellar door.